Hey guys, Yost over at Rhino Adventure Gear. We are super excited to introduce to you guys the Terrapod RTTx XL rooftop tent. We want to make a video for you guys so you get a better idea of what this tent is all about. We're super pumped. In this video, we're going to go over the details of the outside of the tent, outside dimensions. We're going to go over all the details of the interior of the tent, dimensions, features. We're going to show you guys how to open it, we're going to show you guys how to close it, and then we're going to talk about some of the mounting features of this tent. Couple of quick facts just to get us started off that's awesome about this tent. Number one, and probably my favorite, it's all 100% US built. So Chad and his team over in Georgia, they build everything here in the United States. So we're super excited about that. And another fun fact, everything that this tent requires to be built is 100% recyclable. So sit down, relax, we're gonna go over the tent, and hopefully you guys love it. All right, in terms of the exterior dimensions and some of the exterior features of the tent, for starters, construction, a little bit different than some of our tents. It is a hybrid in that it's using heavy-duty aluminum framing along with a composite resin roof and bottom decking. So gets to a really light 132 pounds, I think I mentioned already. In terms of the size, the length of the tent is 93 inches long, which is pretty long. Nice, particularly for tall folks like myself, not only in the bed length, but also on how tall the unit opens up. It gives you a good amount of space. The width is 54 inches wide, side to side. 54 inches, 55 inches is just about standard kind of width profile of most SUVs. If you think of a Land Cruiser, a Jeep, 4Runner, etc., right? So that's right in the wheelhouse. In terms of the thickness of the tent when it's closed, it's 5¼ inches thick. So that's really ultra low profile, super slick, super next level. So we're really fired up about that. If we come over here, a few of the other features on the exterior of the tent. There is a '20 slot here for accessories. So that's really nice. Same with the bottom side. There's a T slot here that can be utilized for a number of different things. We'll get into some of that on the mounting options, but this is really nice. It's on the bottom of the tent. Telescoping ladder extends out to about 8.5 feet, can support 330 pounds, which is really nice. One of my favorite features, really, so simple, but so awesome, and we used it when we were setting this up, is the bubble level, right? There's one here on this side, and there will be another one here on the long side. Again, such a silly, like, why haven't we thought of that before? Chad and his team obviously did, and we've got this leveled out, and that's phenomenal. So yeah, those are, let me show you guys, let's come around to the front. Another nice feature of the tent, we would call it a medium duty crossbar system, right? I've got one of my surfboards up there, but it is a 2 crossbar setup. So it allows you to mount things on top of the tent, which is really nice, right? So through these tracks. So that's definitely a feature that we like as well, particularly here in Southern California when we've got to strap a bunch of boards onto our cars when we're heading down to Baja. So yeah, those are the key features on the outside of the tent, not to mention just the aesthetics. I really like the topo on the top. Just thinking out loud, you know, if you ever wanted to put a solar panel up there, that would be super easy. Easy to adhere, flat surface. So yeah, super sharp. We really like the look of the tent. Guys, we'll go over some of the interior features of the tent. Obviously, let's talk about the length. The inside of the tent's 88 inches long, right? So it's just slightly shorter than the outside at 93. And then the inside is 53 inches wide. Again, just slightly shorter than the outside at 54 inches. The tent also measured from the floor to the highest point on the inside of the tent is just about 53.5 inches tall, right? Creating your nice wedge triangle. All of the tents that we sell will come with an Exped inflatable mattress. This is the 7.5 Duo from Exped. Incredibly comfortable when it's inflated. It's an awesome unit. It does provide, it's a little shorter than the 88.5, so it does provide you some space to kind of leave some of your gear, maybe your shoes or whatever you want to bring in inside of your tent. We'll show you some close-ups of this as well, but some of the interior features, the zippers, I think I already mentioned that. These are a dream. They just work, open and close, super easy. There's a no-seam mesh screen in addition to the door. The screen, I'll show you guys real quick because I do like this. What's really nice is there's a piece of Velcro here, and you can just Velcro that up and boom, your zippers go straight up. No binding, no nothing, right? So super nice feature. Again, another one of those things that you can tell Chad and his team thought about. The interior does come with a LED battery powered light. So that's, you know, convenient. There is a removable inside storage pouch for some of your smaller items. Think of your keys, things like that, bottle opener. And then there is a hanging kind of mesh basket here for, I think about your jacket or something like that. Another nice feature of the inside of the tent is there is some ventilation into the front. We'll show you guys a bit of that up in here, but what that does is it does keep the air inside of the tent nice and fresh and circulated. Also helps when the tent's closed and stored up just a bit, right? So there is some ventilation in there. You'll see this is a translucent, the composite roof is translucent, which does give for a really nice light airy feel. If that is something that you're worried about in terms of lighting, I would imagine that you can coat this or add something here to prevent the light from coming in. First thing that comes to my mind is a solar panel, but obviously there are probably simpler solutions to that as well. So yeah, those are some of the key features of the inside of the tent. Again, one of my favorites is the Velcro on the zippers and just how easily these zippers work. It has such a good feel. It invokes a lot of confidence. So yeah, that's the basics, and then the mattress is really comfortable. That is the basics of the inside of the tent. Really nice in here. This tent's about a 2 to 3 person adult tent. You know, obviously that's going to depend on your comfort level, but 2 to 3 people can take about 550 pounds of static weight in here, right? So that's all your weight inside the tent, 550 pounds. That is with the recommended 3 support crossbars that we'll talk about a little bit later. Also, all the tents do come with a shoe bag that you can hang off your ladder, and then obviously a bag for the Rainfly poles, right? So a couple other nice features. All right, guys, so we're gonna work on closing out the tent, right? So obviously we do have the Exped mattress. It does need to be deflated before we can start closing the tent. So I'm gonna jump in here. First step is to find the the little deflate valve, pull that out, right? Now this is per the folks over at Exped. The best thing to do is to fold over this mattress. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna sit on it. And I'm probably just gonna fold it over again, right? Just to get it down enough so that we can really get some air out of it. So let me work on that. Whoa. It's pretty effective getting the air out. I folded it over a couple times. I've kind of played with this a few different ways, and I definitely agree with the folks over at Exped that this is a quick way of doing it. I imagine there are probably some aftermarket or even pumps from Exped that you can get to help deflate this. But even at this point here, I think we're pretty good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this valve. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this halfway, and then I'm gonna set this sideways. That'll give us the most amount of room on the inside of the tent. So let me get out of here. All right, and we're gonna set that in here. So now we've got a lot of room inside the tent. Kind of leave some of this other stuff. The lid support poles do come out right here, right? You pull a pin, you bring this down, you set it to the side. And same thing here, right? Pull this pin, and then you bring this down to the side. That is part of setting everything down. So now we're ready to get outside and close it up. Next step, I'm gonna kind of close these zippers, maybe about halfway, both the outside and the inside, right? We want to leave a little bit open so that we're not fighting air bubble on the way down. I'm gonna use my favorite little feature and just do that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on all 3 sides here. We got the inside prepped, mattress deflated, ready to go. We're gonna take off the ladder. One thing I wanted to tell you guys about this ladder that's really cool is you can slide this ladder across this track And why that's important is every car is a little bit different, right? And that rear door can sometimes get in the way. So you can either just slide the ladder all the way over, or if you're lucky enough, you can have the ladder off to the side so that that rear door or your front door isn't bonking the ladder. And that, I think, is a really slick feature. Most tents, they don't give you a choice as to where the ladder can go, you know, front to back. So this is pretty standard ladder, tent ladder, right? It has the rungs. You just push them in and it closes up. It does have this strap with a little bit of Velcro so it doesn't open up on its own. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna get to the back of the tent here. And we did find that we can leave this in here when we're closing it. So next step, obviously, is to take the Rainfly poles out. We're gonna do that. We're gonna put these away inside. Let's start with this other one. Inside. Again, this does slide off pretty easily. We've also found that we can leave it in here and close it up. Now, obviously I'm standing on a trailer, so I can, and I'm pretty tall, I can reach the top of this tent. But there is a clip that you can use to pull that down. So we'll go ahead and attach that and show you how it's done. We went ahead and attached the pull cord here on the top. Obviously, me being on the trailer, I may not need it. But the other thing I wanted to show you guys was what the inside of the tent looks like, you know, before we go to close it down. You can see we've got the Exped mattress folded in half, shoe bag just in there, and then we've laid the ladder in here. The Exped going sideways is nice because that way none of the pulls or you know, this extrusion you know, is going to rest on it and, you know, maybe wear it over time. So sideways like that kind of really works. So I'm going to drop this down and then I'll go ahead and close it up for you guys. So I'm going to grab my pull cord here. I'm going to pull the tent down. If you go to pull at this section and obviously the tent doesn't come down, you left the lid support struts in, right? You know, you're going to pull a little bit of the fabric in. There's always going to be a little bit of tucking, so I'm going to do that on both sides here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off right now since we don't need it anymore. I'm just going to make sure that the fabric does have a home right in here. Same on this side real quick. Make sure everything kind of looks good. Nothing is pinching. And then we're gonna go ahead and close it, right? Lock one. And lock two. What's nice is, we didn't talk about this when we talked about the exterior of the tent, but these are adjustable latches. So you can adjust how tight this shuts down, and then this does have provisions for a lock. So should you want to lock your tent, that's a nice feature. I do like this too. I imagine that you can hang something out off of here, which is kind of nice. But now you see the tent is fully closed. Pretty straightforward closing that down. Really simple, really nice. You're going to see again, this is 5 1/4 inches, right? So super low profile. We've got it mounted, you know, on our trailer rack system. We'll talk about mounting in a second, but this is just super slick. Really like how the tent looks when it's shut down, and pretty easy to get it closed up. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and open this up, kind of reverse order, right? So we're gonna undo the latches, 1 and 2. We're gonna pull up on this. Again, leaving the doors somewhat open will prevent the air from, you know, fighting the opening of the tent. We do have the Rainfly poles. We're going to stick one in here, kind of hook down, and then, whoa, you're going to find this eyelet, and I'm kind of doing it standing on the trailer, so it's a little bit different, but you put that in. You want this eyelet to kind of be facing a 45-degree so that when the Rainfly is open, it's kind of nice and taut. Same over here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to put that up. So normally at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the mattress, I'm going to unfold it, and I'm actually going to use, in this case, we've got this little, they actually call it the Exped widget. It's a little pump that'll help blow it up. So I'm not going to do that for the sake of noise on the video, but we'll go ahead and show you how long this takes as well. So I'm gonna go ahead, instead, I'm gonna take the ladder, I'm gonna pull that out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set that up onto our trailer here, un-Velcro it, right, and kind of set this down how we need it. So that looks about right. You wanna make sure that this is hooked in. Again, you can slide this around, just make sure it's nice and secure. So that looks good. Yep, so now I'm gonna grab this mattress. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around, fold it open, and then we're gonna get starting on the pump. Like I said, normally I would start with this, and then when I'm doing all the other things, that kills the time in terms of inflating the mattress. All right, I mentioned the Exped widget. This is a neat little unit here that you can use to inflate any Exped mattress. We got one here to use. Nice little feature. It does require 2-button activation, right? So if you press a button once, it doesn't actually turn on, and that way if you store it in here, it won't turn on with one press. You got to press it twice. So I'm going to press it twice. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and open up the inflate valve in here. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in, and then I'm going to press this twice, and I'm going to let it inflate. We've timed it about 3.5 minutes, and you've got a nice firm mattress. So again, usually what I do is I'll turn this on, I'll let it do its thing for 3.5 minutes, maybe kind of mess around with the rest of the setup or something that's going on the trailer or on your truck, and then I'll come back, and the mattress is just about done. So I'll go ahead and get this started. All right, guys, so we got pretty much everything set up. We got the mattress up. We obviously got the tent up, Rainfly poles. So the last thing is the lid supports, right? So I'm gonna grab those. Those just swing out and up into these little pins, right? Pull the pin, and we get that in. That's the first one. There's one on each side. I'm gonna grab the other one, swing around, pull this pin, and then we're gonna pull that up. Now, you're 100% set up. This is going to prevent, obviously, any sort of wind or anything from pulling the tent down. It would take quite a bit of wind to do that. But that's it, guys. You are ready to rock. This is awesome. So there it is. That's setting up the tent. One thing I want to talk about is the Rainfly. We set up and put away the tent with the Rainfly attached. Nice thing about this Rainfly is it is totally removable. Why would you ever want to remove it? Well, if it's a serviceable item that you need to take care of, we can just slide it out. If you're putting your tent away and you don't want it inside there, or you're worried about it kind of crimping, you can take it away. But practically speaking, if it's really windy, right, you might get a lot of kind of noise with this happening. And if the Rainfly was permanently attached, you would be stuck with that. If it were really windy, you can just remove it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to remove it. Obviously, we're going to take these poles out, similar to the way that we did when we took the tent down. There are 2 clips, one on each side here, that you're going to want to unclip. Right, and then you basically just slide this out. Now your tent is fully operational without a Rainfly, and now you don't have that as kind of a wind concern. Wind is pretty prevalent when we're out. I personally don't love a whole lot of wind noise. I think removing this on a windy day is going to get rid of that. Which again, another well thought out feature of the Terrapod. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys that as well. Last thing we're going to talk about, folks, is mounting. I talked about the quarter 20 carriageable track that's underneath the tent that does go around all 4 corners of the tent, so in the front as well up here. One of the nice things about the Terrapod tent is, we install a lot of roof rack systems with our tents, and one of the popular ones is the Rhino Rack backbone system. Now the backbone system is a set of rails that mounts into factory mounting points onto a vehicle. Then you've got a platform that goes on top of that, which is great, super strong, super nice. It's got a lot of utility. But for some folks, they want to kind of lose the weight and lower the profile of the entire setup a little bit more. With the Terrapod tent, you can use just a backbone system, a set of really thin load bars, and eliminate the platform altogether. So that's going to give you a really low profile setup. You can do it with some of the other aftermarket platform systems as well. So that's one great option for the Terrapod. It'd work, it'd work well with a 5th gen 4Runner, maybe 100 series Land Cruiser, 200 series Land Cruiser. You can also use some integrated gutter mount feet. You've seen that on the 80 series. Any of the maybe a little bit older vehicles that use gutter mount feet or have still the metal gutter mounts, you can use that and get a very effective low profile design. You can also just use a regular set of crossbars. We've used 3 here. These are HD bars from Rhino-Rack, really heavy duty bars. And we've just gone around and used a traditional kind of a straddle style mounting hardware, right? So that works as well. Terrapod does recommend using 3 crossbars when you're mounting your tent. Again, the total amount of static weight capacity that you can put in the tent at any given time is about 550 pounds, right? So the three bars do help in that regard. One thing I do want to point out, if you are doing a crossbar style mounting, kind of like what we did here, the track that's underneath that's going to carry the 2 bolts that come down that are going to straddle your crossbar are about 52.5 inches wide, right? So that is something to look at. If you happen to have your foot pack right in that situation, then that's going to get in the way. As long as it's on the outside of that, which is it's probably going to be, given that most roofs are, again, about that 54, 55 inch range, right? You're going to be, the foot pack's going to sit inside of that, and this is going to be right on the outside of that. I suppose if you had a really wide vehicle, then the foot pack can be on the outside of that, and this would be on the inside of that foot pack. You just don't want the foot pack to be right here, because then you're going to get in the way, right? So that is something to note. Obviously, we can help you out, in terms of figuring out how to best mount it to your vehicle. So, some slick options. Again, I mentioned using a backbone system or something equivalent can really lower your profile, and now you're further enhancing that 5.25 inch tent profile, reducing that weight further, and ultimately reducing some of your costs as well, because you're not buying that platform. So that is a pretty good rundown of the Terrapod tent. I hope that you guys find that useful. If you have any questions, by all means, reach out to us at rhinoadventuregear.com. You can call us, send us an email. Better yet, schedule an appointment to come see the unit in person. So thanks and enjoy. Let us know if you have any questions. Cheers.